Everything about their wedding was perfect. The white orchids blooming in the early summer sun, the golden hues of sunset bathing their smiling faces as they stood beneath the flower arch, and the soft rustle of the ocean waves in the background. Amelia, radiant in her lace gown, held Ethan's hands as they exchanged vows. She remembered every word, every look, every promise. But Ethan's eyes, they weren't fully there. In photos she looked adoringly at him, lost in the magic of the moment. But now when she looked back at them she noticed it. The distracted glance, the tightened jaw, a subtle look toward someone, or something, in the distance. She should have seen it then. But love has a way of making us blind to what we don't want to know. Amelia planned candlelit dinners every Friday after work, her little tradition of keeping their love alive. She made his favorite dishes, poured his favorite wine, and always dressed up even if it was just the two of them. Ethan, however, had grown distant. He smiled, laughed at the right jokes, even kissed her forehead. But there was always something hidden. During one dinner, as she reached for the salad, she caught the flicker of light from beneath the table. His phone screen. A message flashed, and he tilted it away so quickly that she knew instantly that it wasn't just work. "Who's texting you?" she asked lightly. "No one important. Just James," he replied, mentioning his colleague. Amelia laughed it off. "Love does that. It makes you brush past the flashing signs because your heart wants to believe the best in them." After a long week of Ethan coming home late, Amelia suggested therapy. She hoped it would bring them closer. Their therapist was warm and kind. She listened as Amelia expressed her loneliness, her growing anxiety, and the confusion that came with feeling like a stranger in her own marriage. Ethan sat beside her, arms crossed and quiet. When he did speak, it was in carefully measured tones. "I'm just stressed. Work's been insane," he'd say. The therapist gave them exercises. Hold hands for 10 minutes a day, write short notes of appreciation, have honest conversations. Ethan nodded, promised to try. At the final session, the therapist smiled. "I think you're going to be fine. You both clearly care." And they left holding hands. But Amelia noticed how quickly he let go as soon as they reached the parking lot. The first call came at 12:41 a.m. Amelia stirred in bed as her phone buzzed beside her. She squinted at the screen. No caller ID. She answered with a cautious, "Hello?" The line was quiet at first. Then breathing. Shaky, shallow breathing. Then a voice, raspy and broken, whispered, "He's not who you think he is." She sat upright, heart racing. Ethan stirred but didn't wake. She stared into the dark hallway, her skin crawling. Who was that? Why her? And what did it mean? The next morning she didn't tell Ethan. Something in her gut told her to wait. They had always shared everything, or so she thought. One evening when Ethan was in the shower, his laptop chimed. A name she didn't recognize popped up in an email preview. Amelia hesitated. She clicked. The inbox was cleaner than expected. But as she navigated to the archive folder, the pit in her stomach deepened. There were dozens of emails from someone named R. Some were short. Others were long. All were intimate. One, sent just a week ago, read, "Last night was everything. I miss you already. Can't wait to see you again, your room or mine." Her hands trembled. She logged out, shut the laptop, and placed it exactly where it was. The shower was still running. So was the lie. She created a fake Instagram account. It was impulsive, desperate, but effective. Through mutual followers she found a woman, young, pretty, with almond eyes and a cryptic caption under a photo of a hotel view. Nights that make you forget everything else. She followed the trail. A tagged location. A comment from an account named @RealRay. She messaged her. Simple. Do you know Ethan? 2 days later, a voice note arrived. Hi. I don't know how to say this, but yes. We've been seeing each other for months. I didn't know he was married. He told me he was separated. He promised. Amelia dropped the phone. The room spun. She followed him. It was easier than she thought. Ethan left work early on a Thursday. Claimed he had a late meeting. Amelia trailed his black SUV to the outskirts of town. She stayed far enough behind. The neon sign read, Motel 17, vacancy. She parked on a side road, heart pounding. He exited the car. Alone. Room 204. 10 minutes later, she watched a woman, the one from Instagram, walk toward the same door. Her world collapsed in that moment. But she didn't cry. Not yet. Back home, she searched his car. She needed more. Inside the glove compartment, beneath the user manual, was a cream envelope. On it, to whom it may concern. She opened it with trembling fingers. Inside, printed documents. A lease agreement for an apartment in Ray's name. Co-signed by Ethan. He wasn't just having an affair. He was building a life with someone else. And she had no idea. She confronted Ray. Ray, shaken and pale, invited her in. I didn't know, she whispered, tears sliding down her cheeks. I swear. On the table were ultrasound photos. I'm pregnant, Ray said. He said he was leaving you. That you were cruel, manipulative. That he was miserable. Amelia's eyes fell to the photos. 3 black and white images. A future. A betrayal. A truth she didn't see coming. She used the spare key. One he didn't know she still had. It was after midnight. Room 204 was dark except for a sliver of light under the door. Inside, 2 wine glasses. A sweater she didn't recognize. A half-eaten tray of takeout. She didn't touch anything. She simply placed a note on the bed. You forgot something, your soul. And walked out. Back home she spiraled. Ethan returned 2 days later, claiming he was away on business. She smiled. Nodded. That night while he showered, she went through his closet. In a hidden compartment inside a travel bag, she found a photo. A woman. Different from Ray. Older. Mysterious. On the back, forever yours, Marla. She pinned it to her corkboard. Red strings. Notes. Timelines. Questions. Who is Marla? And how many other lies had he told? She stared at their wedding photo, now cracked after slipping from her hands. The frame splintered. The glass reflected a stranger. She wasn't crying anymore. She couldn't. She realized she had loved a version of him that never truly existed. He was a ghost in a tailored suit. A mask with charm. He was never hers. Not really. She filed for divorce. He contested. Court was cold. Formal. Final. He stood on the witness stand, swearing under oath. I never cheated. She fabricated everything. Amelia sat in the back. Silent. But when her turn came, she brought evidence. Emails, voice notes, photos, documents. The courtroom gasped. Ethan's face fell. And for the first time, Amelia saw fear in his eyes. Weeks later, Amelia received a package. No return address. Inside, a handwritten letter. Bold. Tear-stained. It was from Marla. Dated 2 years ago. She had passed away. Cancer. In it she wrote of Ethan, how he promised to marry her, how he disappeared after learning of her illness, how she forgave him, even when he never came back. She had mailed the letter to herself, never having the courage to send it. Until someone found it, sent it to Amelia. As she read it, she wept. Not for Ethan, but for every woman who gave her heart to a man who never deserved it.